Hey guys, welcome back to Dexter Ranch. In today's video, I want to talk about how you can construct a semi-permanent fence in a very short amount of time if need be on your farm. For me, the need for this arose after I started clearing this fence line. This late winter, I started working on this, and this fence line previously had 100% hedge trees in it, just like it does if you move just a little bit further down. Okay, and these are large hedge trees. You can see some of the stumps left over from the trees that were cut. It was pretty serious, so the fence was just 100% integrated into the trees. So there's no way to just cut the tree down and keep the fence. I had to remove all of the fence. Well, whenever the grass came, that left me in a situation to where I had a big open area and I wanted to get the cows out here. I mean, the pond is over here and there's a lot of grass for them to eat. So it was going to be difficult for me to just not let them out on this part of the farm for the whole year. So I had to come up with a solution, and these kind of things, you know, I might even continue to work on this more this summer. So these kind of things really need to be temporary, but they need to be sufficient enough that they're going to keep the cattle in. I mean, we're right here on a dirt road. I wouldn't suggest something like this if you live on a heavily traveled paved road. But for my purpose, it'll work just fine. Most cattle, after they've been around a hot wire for a little bit of time, they tend to respect it. Now, the calves are a different story. So the reason why I feel like something like this, if you're going to leave it for any length of time, needs to be more than one line, is solely for the calves. You need to get a hot line far enough from the ground to about where it hits their chest, okay, to where they would have to dip their head down really low. They'd have to do something that's not natural with their body to get under it. And then there's one right up at about nose height. That's what you want to do. And then the top one is just for good measure. But when I constructed this, you know, it looks like it's probably 3 separate lines, but it's not. It's just coming off of my spool. And if you're going to keep cattle on your farm, I would recommend that you keep at least a couple of these spools around, because they're just really handy. So I've got my spool there. I've got tons of lines still left on it, even after constructing this whole thing all the way down to those big cedars down there. But basically, so you just got one line coming here, and it runs all the way down to the end, right? And then it just does the same thing that we got going on here. I just do a wrap, and then I come up to the next one, go down, do a wrap, come up to the next one, come down. And that's how I did the whole thing. And I'm just keeping it tight while I'm going, and then I just tie it off. These are a product by Zabara here, and they just come with a nail, and they're just to keep that wire a little bit off of the fence. You can buy these in packages of 25, I think, for, I don't know, they're not that much. At the same time, they're basically throwaway, right? Once I get done with it here, it's not going to be worth keeping. So they should be cheap, because they don't last. Now, another product that I used on this project that I have used multiple times since I bought it are these orange insulators here. And these are made by a company called, let me see if I can read it, LockJawz. LockJawz with a Z. And these things are really handy, especially for real quick jobs like this. You just snap them right around the T-post, and then it just makes everything really, really quick. And I've been able to take those on and off the T-post several different times. and use them on different projects around the farm. So, like I said, this thing, I put this thing up probably, I'd say a month and a half ago. Here's my fence charger here, and it's just a Gallagher solar fence charger. I've got the ground running down to just a pigtail that I just stuck in the ground real quick, hooked down right there, and then I've got the power wire coming up to one of the, and since it's a continuous line, I only have to hook it to one, and the whole fence is hot. So it keeps coming down here, and then we got a couple of trees that were too big for me to cut with my tree saw. I'm gonna have to come back and get them with a chainsaw, and these are massive hedge trees. Kind of intimidating to take a tree like that out by yourself, so I didn't tackle those two on that day when I was working on it. But same thing, just need to keep them off of the fence a little bit, so those same nail-in type insulators there. Same thing here. This entire project probably took me about 2.5 hours. I mean, I had to put, you know, the T-post in the middle and then these T-posts in the ground. I got lucky and didn't hit a bunch of rock on this project, so it went really quick. And probably the hardest thing of this was nailing these into the dead hedge post. Dead hedge is hard as concrete. It's just really difficult to work with. It's really good stuff, but it's really, really hard. So that's that, guys. This is one of those things that, you know, it's good to show these kind of things because, you know, especially if you're new to raising cattle on your property or setting these types of things up on your property. Maybe you don't know that some of these products exist. Maybe you just hadn't thought about doing it a certain way, and you see a video like this, and it's just really helpful. Guys, I'll leave links to all of these things in the description below where you can buy them. Those LockJawz insulators, the Zabara's insulators, even though those are probably, or something similar to that, is probably at your local farm store. That Gallagher reel is really nice. That's one of the geared ones. So they're a little bit pricey, but I'll leave a link to that. And then that Gallagher charger, if you're needing a good charger, those have done me right. So all that stuff will be in the description below. If the video was helpful to you, or if you just were entertained, then hit the like button. Helps me out a lot. And if you hadn't subscribed to Dexter Ranch yet, please consider doing so. We'll see you guys on the next one. Bye. Huh?